We've managed to touch the sun. When I say we, I mean NASA's Parker Solar Probe. And by touched, I mean that the spacecraft entered the outer layer of our star and the spacecraft survived. That happened in April 2021, but scientists only told the world about the touchdown in late December. The whole initiative is not about adding a new achievement to the list. The probe's task is to thoroughly study how the sun works to help us better predict its destructive flares. And our brave scout has already spotted something extraordinary. In this video, you'll get answers to these questions. Why does the solar wind sometimes blow in the opposite direction? What other weird things will our probe find inside the sun? Could we survive an impending solar hurricane in the next few years? And what other dangerous anomalies can stars be hiding? What weird things did Parker's solar probe notice after touching the sun? In fact, our star functions in a simple way. Hydrogen in its core turns into helium and puts out energy. Fuel consumption is 700 billion tons per second, which equals the mass of 100,000 Egyptian Great Pyramids. There's a catch, though. The sun emits its energy unevenly. A coronal mass ejection is the most terrible anomalous flare. If it hits Earth, it can disable all our electronic devices. And we don't know how to predict these emissions since we can't see that side of the star where they occur from our planet. The sun's corona is its outermost layer, and it can be seen only during an eclipse. The corona was exactly where the Parker Solar Probe dived into and captured plasma flows whose temperature reaches 833,000 degrees. However, the spacecraft soon exited this zone, although it never abandoned its course. That's because the stellar corona isn't really a sphere and has an abnormal shape. It makes the sun look more like a dented golf ball. Parker's solar probe flew through a couple of similar space bumps and found another anomaly. Switchbacks of the solar wind. Particle beams suddenly turn towards the sun just to turn back again soon and fly away. It's very similar to a shock wave that moves towards the end of a whip. But how does the sun do this trick? All the answers lie below the surface. What will the probe see inside our sun? Unfortunately, the spacecraft will need more than just one carbon heat shield for a plunge like that. Let's upgrade the probe by placing it in a protective warp bubble. Now it's safe to plunge when we move past the corona and farther down the air. The probe will witness temperature changes as it moves through the sun. In the photosphere, the temperature will decrease significantly to around 2,200 degrees. The probe will also observe solar granules, small cells on the sun's surface, which are where anomalies like switchbacks of the solar wind occur. These cells receive heated plasma from the convection zone, a layer of the sun that is thick and where matter constantly mixes. However, below the convection zone is the radiation zone, where hydrogen atoms are tightly packed and can only exchange photons. Photons can zigzag towards the sun's surface for thousands of years before being emitted as sunlight. Scientists have theorized about the possibility of organisms with plasma-based DNA existing inside stars. These organisms could potentially feed on the energy released by nuclear reactions and explain some abnormal luminosity swings observed in stars. Different stars, such as red dwarf stars like Proxima Centauri, work differently from the sun. They are smaller and colder, and their interiors are mostly made up of a convection zone. Other stars, like Sirius, are bigger and hotter. They have a radiation zone below the photosphere and a convection zone where the plasma gets mixed. White dwarfs, which are remnants of massive stars, have a core made up of highly compressed subatomic particles and cool down for billions of years. Neutron stars, even more massive, have a crust of subatomic particles and a core where conventional laws of physics no longer apply. In early March 2021, scientists observed a space hurricane in Earth's ionosphere, predicting that Earth may experience more powerful space hurricanes in the future. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any more questions. In 2025, a space hurricane is predicted to occur, which scientists have discovered in Earth's upper atmosphere. While a space hurricane passing by may seem inconspicuous, it can have significant consequences. Just like lemonade can be flavored with syrups, a space hurricane can be intensified by coronal mass ejections. These ejections occur during normal solar activity and involve a large number of charged particles moving towards Earth. Thankfully, Earth's magnetic field protects us from most of these particles in the upper atmosphere. However, an increased burst of charged particles can pose a threat to electronics. In 1921, astronomers observed a massive sunspot, resulting in a geomagnetic storm that disrupted the New York Central Railroad and caused communication issues along the east coast of the United States. In 2025, solar activity is expected to peak, and the consequences could be dire due to our increased reliance on electronics. Transportation systems may experience chaos, and communication methods like WhatsApp may be disrupted. Adding a bike to your survival list can help with transportation and communication during such events. The power of solar storms is immense and can sometimes overwhelm our protective shields. Electromagnetic fields of charged particles can cause power outages, damaging electrical equipment. In 1989, the Quebec power blackout caused extensive disruptions, destroyed electrical transformers, and disrupted radio links. However, one positive aspect of these storms is the display of beautiful northern lights, witnessed as far as Mexico and Grand Cayman. To ensure survival during such events, it is crucial to consider food and cooking options. Without electricity, refrigerated food will spoil quickly. Canned food and baby food, known for their long shelf life and nutritional value, should be included in the survival list. Additionally, having firewood and matches for cooking will be essential. Binoculars can also be added for observing the vibrant colors of the sky, including the northern lights. While some may dismiss the warnings of global space threats, scientists believe that worrisome developments are inevitable, although the magnitude of the implications may vary. The power of solar flares will determine the severity of the events. While there is a possibility that the sun may spare us, in the worst-case scenario, a space hurricane could disable satellites, impacting military, scientific, and communication systems. It's important to be prepared for unexpected events, and having a survival list that includes essential supplies such as a bike, canned food, baby food, firewood, matches, and binoculars can help increase your chances of survival. Stay informed and take necessary precautions to ensure your safety during such events. In the event of a space hurricane and its consequences, chaos can ensue. Aviation accidents, traffic jams, and blindness among meteorological personnel are potential issues. ATMs, security systems, and power sources like solar panels may cease to function. Adding a gun to your survival list is advisable for self-defense. The accuracy of GPS satellites will diminish, and maps, backpacks, and water bottles will be essential. An underwater bridge between Sweden and Denmark could serve as a safe shelter. Recovery efforts will require people with expertise in technology, science, and society. Please share any additional suggestions for the Survival 2025 selection.